Hey everyone, this is James Wilson with MTB Strength Training Systems and BikeJames.com, and today I wanted to answer a question, or kind of address a question from a rider about how to maintain energy during rides. Now, the long story short, the rider was having trouble maintaining energy on longer rides, and in the course of the email was describing their training program to me, which they're putting in a lot of work. Like basically they're trying to train as hard as they can every day, and then they're noticing that when they're going out for long rides that they're having trouble maintaining energy. And so they thought that the answer was going to be a fueling strategy. It's a very common reaction with riders. If you're having trouble maintaining energy on rides, well, what's your fueling strategy? How many grams of carbs are you taking in? Are you taking in protein as well? What's the interval that you're doing this at? And so his answer was to, well, maybe I should look at a better fueling strategy to help me maintain energy on my rides. Now, my opinion, this is what I told this rider, was I don't think that's the problem here. When I look at what's going on here, I see that you're not balancing hard, moderate, and light training days. Okay, like this is, you can't train as hard as you can every day and expect to not just start running up against the wall. When you look at how professional athletes train, they use planning, right? Periodization at its most basic level is just having a plan. And at the heart of a plan is balancing these hard, moderate, and light training days. The bulk of your training days, and I mean, going out for rides, hitting the gym, right? These things that you do towards making you a better rider, both on and off of the bike. These training days, the bulk of your training days are going to be just moderate days, right? You're going to nothing spectacular, not too hard, not too easy. You're just punching the clock. You're putting in the work. This is the foundation for what you do. But you also need light, easy recovery days. If you're not programming this in, or you're not taking easy days off. And that doesn't mean like sitting on the couch eating ice cream, right? That means doing mobility, doing meditation. You can, using sauna. There's all sorts of things that you can do to help facilitate recovery, like actively working towards helping your body recover. And then you need your hard days as well to help push your fitness and help push your mindset. Really, the hard days are more for mindset really than fitness. But on some levels. But anyways, my point is that through my experience, I've had the chance to work with hundreds, if not thousands, of riders personally, on a personal level, like through my distance coaching, through the gym that I own, through working with different teams. I've had the chance to work with hundreds, if not thousands, of riders on a personal level. And I can tell you from experience that you've got one, maybe two hard training days a week in you. And you only have 2 hard training days a week in you if you are young, in the prime of your life, or you are a pro, and that is your job, is to train and recover, right? So you can maybe fit into hard training days a week if that's the case. But for most of us, you've got maybe 1 hard training day a week. As you get older, right, you get into your 40s, 50s, beyond, you may have 1 hard training day every like 7 to 10 days. Okay, but that's okay, right? Like those hard training days where you're like pushing your 100%, that's not necessarily needed. You don't need to do that all the time in order to improve as a rider. The bulk of your training days should be in that moderate training zone, right? Increase your 80% and your 100% will increase as well. If you just smash yourself against your 100% all the time, you're going to end up breaking. So then this will translate over into the energy that you have for rides. I mean, if you're just not recovering well because you're just not moderating your training well, that's going to affect you on rides. So for me, that was the answer more than a fueling strategy. And I'm not a big fan of fueling strategies in general. I think that stuffing sugar in your face is not the answer. That you should be able to go for a 2 to 4 hour ride without needing to stuff sugar in your face every 30 to 45 minutes to survive. I mean, our ancestors did some amazing things without having access to Goop Hacks and Scratch Labs and Cytomax and all this other nonsense, right? So, I'm not going to say that there's not some sort of potential performance enhancing benefit from it. And so, but it should be used like that on important race days. Like you need to practice it enough to know how to do it, right? Have your body used to it. But if you are just relying on this stuff to make up for a lack of a good training plan and good nutrition, good sleep, all these things that help you recover, right? If you're just trying to use these things as a crutch for not addressing those things, That is not the answer. And unfortunately, I feel like that's what is happening with a lot of riders, is they're trying to look to this technology of, these fueling strategies, as opposed to looking at themselves and what they can do to improve themselves in order to achieve what they're looking for, which is usually the better answer. So personally, I stay away from those things. I don't use them. Your body's going to do what you train it to do. So if you train it to get used to burning food that you're taking in, like that's what it's going to train to do. If you train your body to burn calories that you have stored up, that's what it's going to do. You can train your body either way. Your nutrition, your training, all these things are going to help affect how this happens. But man, I can guarantee you that once you make that deal with the sugar devil and you start stuffing sugar in your face, that's a long, hard road. You're going to have to do it every time you go ride. It's not going to be easy to try to get off of that. And so just be very careful if you do decide to go down that route. Just recognize that there are pros and cons to it. And so the fueling strategies, I think, are overplayed for most riders. And, hey, if you're a pro rider, and then yes, you need these things. But for most people that aren't pros, it's just not worth it. And you can get so much more out of looking at other things you can do lifestyle-wise and things like that. So training-wise and some of these other things I touch on. But anyways, you can learn more strategies and things that will help you train better, recover better, and ride better at bikejames.com. I hope you guys have enjoyed this tip, and I'll talk to everyone next time.